Hey everybody, welcome to Barrels for Hope Angels Share 13. So I don't know if everyone realized it or not, but this is our 13th live stream, which means we are officially into our second season or year two going on. Super excited, just so pumped, thankful for everything the community has done. In fact, I just heard, I think Lance, you posted a little bit this afternoon that we actually had it right after the 1 year mark, about 10 spots open up, and those filled up like that. So super awesome. Glad people are paying attention to that and jumping on. Glad people continue to talk about it. We got some good stuff to get into for you tonight, but first off, we wanted to celebrate and cheers the completion of our first 12 months. All 6 required bottles going out with a special toast. So we asked everyone to pick your favorite bottle or pick from the year. I've got the Still Austin pick here. What's everybody else got on screen here?
Well, I've got a blind flight of all of our year one picks because I have not yet done this, and this is including the 4-gate, thanks to Tim sending a sample. So I'll cheers with whatever this glass is. One of our picks.
Fair enough. Lance, what are you pouring up for the toast?
Founders pick, baby.
Founders, very nice. Dan, what are you getting into?
I don't have any of the Barrels for Hope stuff with me here, but I do have an A. Smith Bowman cast strength that's 135.1 proof.
Hey, that's pretty rowdy. All right. And Kim, what do you got?
I am joining you with Still Austin.
Still Austin. Perfect. All right. Well, I want to raise a glass to all of you for the hard work and support all year, and to everybody watching, everybody in our community doing an amazing job supporting each other, supporting our charities. And I am so looking forward to our annual event and to continue on with our picks for this year. So that said, cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers all.
Man, just hearing you say, I mean, I knew it was 12 and this was 13, but hearing it out loud just gives me a lot of pride, man. It's quite an accomplishment.
It is. It's been pretty amazing. We had our bumps in the road. We had our growing pains, but everyone stuck with us, and it's paid off. So awesome.
One of the cooler things I think is that as I was getting ready to do this blind flight tonight of the year one picks, I was getting the bottles out and I was expecting to get 6 bottles out, but I was like, wait a minute, there's more. And we're already starting off year 2 with, and we'll talk about it more, but the Dark Arts pick and then getting a secondary barrel. And so it's just, or a second barrel. So, it's, we've got our baseline, but then cool stuff presents itself. Like next Friday, we're picking that 4 Roses. So,
Right.
We've already got 8 picks. 8 bottles are going to happen this year as well, plus whatever opportunities pop up. So it's really cool from a whiskey nerd standpoint, but then just to know the impact we're going to be able to make with this thing is amazing as well. And that's all credit to you guys being a part of it.
100%.
Awesome. Well, speaking of those barrel picks, let's get into the updates. Lance, you want to talk about Dark Arts a little bit?
Yeah. So, what was it? Like 4 months ago, I think it may have even been longer than that. Narav had contacted me, and there was a new company, new non-producing distiller that had came out. I think we've talked to you guys about it, but Macaulay from Wilderness Trail went out on his own and started a company. And I thought, I don't know how excited I am about another place selling MGP. And Narav, I trust his palate. He said, you got to try this stuff. It is really good. He is really good at finishing. So I went down to A1 and tried a couple picks, and I was like, man, this stuff's really, really good. He's not over finishing it. It's just really well balanced. So Narav said, I think we can get you guys a pick if you're interested. So we talked to the board. A lot of people hadn't even heard about him yet. This was before, Bourbon Junkies did a pick with him. There's a couple other places doing picks with them now, but everybody was on board. So we put it on the books and we showed up and
So
do you want me to set the stage or do you want to set the
oh
stage?
my goodness. So we put it in the GPS to drive there and we're getting close. You can tell you're right around the corner. And we're in the middle of just a regular warehouse industrial area. Not where you would expect a distillery that, or at least a warehouse for all their stuff, what we're looking for. There's no signs, right? There's no signs. There's nothing to indicate any whiskey is going on around here. So we literally, and Josh is in another car following us at one point and then ahead of us another point. We pull into two different driveways, can't find anything. We turn around. We're passing one of the buildings, and I look and I can see through the windows, and I could see barrels on racks stacked up. That's got to be it, right? Like, where else has barrels like that? So we pull in, still no signs. We're just going to go knock on the door. And then on the door, there was a small little sign that had, do you remember the spirit? It said something spirit company. I don't even remember it.
I can't remember what it was now.
I can't either.
They were a co-packer. So
Divine Spirits or something?
Divine Spirits.
That's it.
So they're a co-packer, right? So other small NDPs can go to them and they have a warehouse to store barrels. They've got a bottling line because all of that is super expensive to get startup. So if you're a new business, you can go there and they can help them out, just like a co-packer in the food industry can help out a producer. And they answer the door and they're kind of like looking at us like, what the heck are you guys doing here? And we're like, we're here for a dark arts pick. And they're like, oh, okay, come this way. And we walk past, and I don't know if they have any NDAs or whatever, so I won't say the other brands that we saw in there. But there are other very well-known NDP brands in there that they were storing barrels for, they were bottling for. And we're just walking through the production area, and everyone's kind of just looking at us like, these guys want to be here. And then into a back room to the side that I guess, maybe all the companies that work with them, they each have their own little room or whatever. So expectations were super low, super low starting up, right? Because Macaulay wasn't even there to meet us. It's just these other people working for this other company.
Well, Joe, I'll add to that because one of the guys on the
take us over now that we got into the room.
So one of the guys on the pick calls me because he got there early, and he's like, "Hey, I don't know if I'm at the right place, but there is nobody here." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I think our pick was at 11, right? So it was like 10:30 or so, and he's like, nobody's here." And I'm like, they'll be there, I'm sure. So he messages me and he said, yeah, they got here. I got in. So Jeffrey Wack and I get there later than you guys. Nobody greets us. And we walk in the what we think is the front entrance. I assume that's the front entrance. No signs, nobody meeting you. And we just walk into this warehouse of barrels and we're like, nobody is there. And all of a sudden we see a guy walk by and he sticks his head in and I have my camera and he says something to the people behind him about me having a camera. I don't think they wanted us to film back there. And I go, I'm not filming. And he goes, okay. I go, we're here for a pick. And he goes, oh yeah, come through here. So we walk through and there's like, a guy with a computer doing their social media. There's people bottling and they just lead us into this room and there you guys sit. I'm thinking, what? Oh no, this is going to go bad.
Well, one of the things, doing picks, what you find out is every place has their own individual way of doing it. And there's a lot of pomp and circumstance in some places. And then other places, it's very much like, we're here for the whiskey and that's it. And this place was a lot like that until we got into the room.
Yeah, it wasn't even quite like that. Like, there's no place that should do it that way. Let's just be straight up. Like, someone should, if you have a customer coming in to buy a $10 or $12 or $15,000 barrel, someone should at least meet them at the door and show them where to go at a bare minimum. So let's just, that part needs some work. But once we did get in the room, what did you guys think?
Oh man,
the room, It had a
Go
great
ahead,
vibe. It had these tufted blue velvet couches. I mean, I got the green velvet couch back here, and
Those couches
they're
are so comfortable.
they're operating on a different level than we're operating over here. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, I mean, it was just a really cool vibe in the room, and it was a very casual pick experience. It's one of those things that, you know, you're just sitting on couches, sipping whiskey with your friends, talking about it, debating on what the best pick is for the group. And Macaulay's like, okay, well, you know, he started us out with tasting a 10-year bourbon, just for us 10.5-year bourbon to get a baseline. And then he started getting into all the different finish things that he had on hand. And it was just really cool to
before that, he gave us the core lineup.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't want to leave that part out. Yeah,
And,
so
and
he
at
let
that
us.
point, I was thinking, are we just picking a barrel from the core lineup? Like I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know where we were headed.
Oh, you must have been in the cameras, because yeah, he said that we were gonna taste the core lineup and then get into the pick.
Yeah,
So he
okay.
wanted us to see what the baseline was, which right off the bat, their
really
baseline
good.
products are really good.
Really.
And then we got into the 10.5-year, and then we started getting into the finish stuff. And
well,
it's really
Josh,
cool
you gave
'cause-
us some Amberana.
Yeah, an Amberana finish rye, which Lance and I are not. Yeah, we are not Amberana fans. It was subtle and it was well done. Again,
But
to Lance's
Josh,
point, not over finished.
I won't let you live it down. You did, and we have you on camera, I believe, saying that you would definitely buy a bottle of that and drink that one.
I definitely didn't say I'd buy a bottle. I said I think I said it was good. It was good. It was good. I'm not buying a bottle. But we do that. We start the pick, and then, you know, you go to a lot of places and it's like, here's your barrels, here's 3 or 4 or 5, and that's what you pick from, whatever they wheel out, whatever you've talked to them and discussed you want profile wise, or whatever they have available, all those things. Macaulay he was very dynamic in the pick. So as we're going through the pick, he's seeing what we like, how we're reacting to things. And then he's like, all right, you know, I was going to pour this for you, but I'm going to go get this other thing that I didn't even think you guys. And so he's grabbing stuff. He's getting stuff out of the back.
He's going to the barrel warehouse and pulling stuff out of the barrels.
Out of the barrels, yeah. Bringing them in, and we're tasting them. And it seems like a lot, especially at 11 in the morning, but I think we tasted through, I mean, probably 12 or 14 things, but we're just taking, you know, little bitty sips to just see, is this a qualified pour to be one of our picks? And there's a ton of really good stuff, but there were a few standouts. And those are the ones like, okay, we have to follow up. We need more of these so that we can start zeroing in on exactly what we want to pick for the group. And then I'll turn it back over to Joe if he wants to talk about the experience from there.
Yeah, so what blew me away was his skills in blending and finishing, because I've had a lot of different finished products. And not all of them are good, but there's some good ones. Like, I happen to think Starlight does a pretty good job finishing. I love Josh's pick, the white grape brandy finish. But Macaulay's on a whole nother level with finishing. The quality of those whiskeys and keeping the essence of the core whiskey and not overshadowing with the finish it truly was an art. It is, I will say, that is probably the best finished whiskeys I've tried. American whiskeys anyways. And if not the best, definitely contending for top couple, because they were done really well. And I'm really super excited for everyone to get a hold of it. But there was some throwdowns. There was quite a bit of arguing during this one, which is not always been the case. We've been fairly unified on a lot of the picks. This one was split 3-3, and we were arguing. We were going to take it out back, I think. And
it was two different animals we were arguing about.
Very two different animals. It was the sherry finished, and it was
the white port.
The white port finished. And I was adamant for one, and Bill was adamant for another one. I'm gonna poke at him a little bit because he's not here tonight for this.
Well, me, you, and Josh were for the same one, and the other three were for the.
Let me clarify. You and Joe were for one very strongly, and Bill and Jeff were for one very strongly, a
true.
different one.
True. That's
And then
true.
me and Mason
We're
saw the
kinda-
merit.
yeah.
We saw the merit in both. And so there was a discussion to be had because we had 6 people there. There was a big discussion to be had about which is the right barrel for you guys, you know? And because we were kind of split, Mason and I we liked both, you know, we really liked both. And one was a little bit more sweet and just beautifully crafted. And I think Lance called it fat kid whiskey. It was just absolutely, I think Jeff said it best. He said, we're trying to pick between wow factor and it factor. And which one do we go with? Because the white port had the wow factor, and then the Oloroso sherry finish had the it factor.
Yeah.
And we talked it out, and we finally landed, thanks to Macaulay, and with some help from him.
Yeah, Macaulay had a great idea because both of those barrels were going to be a full yield. And we knew we couldn't do two full yield barrels. So we were for the white port. The nice thing was he had a short barrel of white port. He said 90-ish bottles. So we tried that one, and everyone in the group actually liked that one a little bit better than the original one. It didn't quite have that hit that the original one had, but it was way more balanced, and the flavor came through a lot. So we finally settled on a great idea. The sherry finished is your guys' pick, right? One of the 6, the official one. And then the short barrel, very much like the when we did the founder's pick and the short barrel for Elijah Craig, that short barrel will then go in a randomizer. Everyone can sign up if they want that one. We'll go in a randomizer drawing. So obviously with 90-ish bottles, we don't have enough for everybody, but it's at least an option to have. And of course, people can share samples, and we'll have some at the annual event as well. So I think it works out. I think it works out great. We get to get both of those types of finishes out there into the group.
2 things to add about the picks we did. One, the Oloroso sherry is a unique mash bill, 51% corn, 49% rye. And Macaulay let us taste that without being finished, which was really cool. So it has a really nice base to it.
One of the best pours we had all day was the unfinished 5149 mash bill. And then with the finish on top. Oh.
And we had moved before we got to a lot of the finished stuff. We had moved that to the top of a lot of our lists. So yeah. And so then for him to bring one out later that was finished in Oloroso, and it's the first Oloroso sherry he's Dark Arts has released, which is super cool.
Yeah, well, so our group, Barrels for Hope, will be the first for that, which is, really exciting.
And like Bill said in the pick, that's just something, especially a well-done one, you just don't find in stores. So,
so
that's really exciting.
Again, super, super awesome. Super happy with both of those. Cannot wait for everyone to get their hands on those and try them. But that's our Dark Arts. It was a very interesting and cool experience. And we're going to get some good whiskey out to you guys. So that's one of them. Next up, do you want to talk about ECBP?
Yeah. So, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I think we've pretty much, nailed a date for May 20th, at 10 a.m. So we're going to be able to take probably, I don't know, 3. We'll verify that 2 to 4 people will be able to take on this pick. So, that'll be awesome to get a couple of you guys if you've never been on a Heaven Hill pick, especially if we get Sylvia. It's a great experience, and you guys will love it. You'll have a great time. But yeah, so we've got that definitely down. The Dark Arts pick, he was bottling it, I think, as we were there or the next day. So I'm assuming that's going to be to us in 3 or 4 weeks. And then I'll go down to A1. We'll have another shipping party. So we'll be getting you guys out another bottle pretty soon.
And the bonus bottle. On the bonus bottle.
On the bonus bottle. So I'm assuming we'll have something similar just to like all the other times. You'll have an opt-in period. We'll take everybody who opts in, assuming that is more than the bottles that yield. We'll run a randomizer and do these selections for that. All right, and then we've got the ECBP coming up, and we said that was May 20th, and we will get out the sign-up list for that as well. And then one of our second extra barrel already for season 2 for us, the Four Roses. Lance, you want to give the announcement on the Four Roses there?
Yeah, so Four Roses is next Friday at 10 a.m. as well. And we're going to get to pick one person to go on that with us, which is super exciting. If you've never been on a Four Roses pick, it's definitely an experience to remember, a bucket list item. Do you want to do that at the end of the stream, or when do you want to do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's do that. Let's wrap up the stream with the Four Roses drawing. So if you didn't see the post in Discord, we are telling everybody watching right now, we are drawing someone to go on Four Roses. So get on Discord, check it out. If you haven't responded, make sure you respond, because that drawing is going to be at the end of the stream. And we all need to give a huge thank you to Kim for throwing this one together. She filled out the charity paperwork. She's got the industry connections and got that, I think, probably quicker than any other charity has gotten a barrel lined up. So that's a big cheers to Kim for that one.
Kevin just said, which recipe? Well, that's the fun of doing a pick. We don't know.
Yeah.
We'll pick the best barrel, and it
Yeah,
will be
we'll pick
whatever
the best
recipe
barrel.
that it is. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. I think that's it for the barrel pick updates. Can anybody think of anything we missed there?
Did you want to tell the next one we're going on, or not yet? The one I posted about today?
August.
August-ish, July, August.
Oh, yeah. Let's throw that out. Let's keep the good news rolling. Go for it.
So it appears we have locked up a Ben Holiday pick as well. And everybody is going crazy over Ben Holiday right now because of their latest release. So it'll be fun to get down to Missouri and do that pick. We're going to try to do that sometime July or August. But I'm super excited because they are doing some great stuff. So
That'll be our furthest west pick we've traveled to do. I mean, still Austin, I think, is a little further west than that, but that was a virtual. So I think that's our furthest west we've traveled.
yeah, I'm pumped for it. It looks like people in the chat are too. So
Yeah.
All right, I got a dumb question. That's on this side of the Mississippi, right? East side. We're not crossing the Mississippi,
No, I think you're crossing the Mississippi.
are we?
It's just
you're
west of
crossing
Kansas City.
Mississippi.
We're almost coast to coast, y'all. We just give us some time. Give us some time. We're expanding.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Well, that's all good stuff. Next up, Lance, you want to give everyone an update on what allocated bottles were donated for the month?
Yeah, Narav and A1 donated some good bottles this month. So the first allocated one going in our raffle at our year-end event, well, not our first, but the first for March. Old Overholt 10-year. The second one, E.H. Taylor Small Batch, and number 3 is a Weller CYPB.
Whoa, yeah, there's a big one there. That's a great lineup.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
So is it weird that I'm a little more excited for the 10-year Old Overholt than I am the CYPB? Is that bad?
No.
That one really excites me. So hopefully you guys are excited about that.
I know a lot of people got that bottle, but we never saw it here.
Yeah, I didn't see it here.
I think a lot of places never saw it.
Well,
So it'd be cool to have that available for people.
I think it did hit Ohio, but I haven't been out hunting in quite a while, so I missed all those. Awesome. Well, we had some announcements on the annual event side of things, so now it's time to turn it over to Kim. What do you got for us?
Great. So 3 months away. It is hard to believe it's coming up that quickly. But things are going good on the planning front. We still just have a few tickets remaining. So if you haven't gotten your ticket yet and you want to join us in Louisville the weekend of July 13th, please go out and sign up with the link. If you can't find the link anymore, just email me at kim@barrelsforhope.com.
Hey,
and I'll
Kim,
get-
it's on the website now.
Awesome. It's on the website now.
Took me long enough. I know. It's on there.
And then we have sold out on both of the Friday add-on events. So the Pursuit United excursion and the cocktail class. We've had some additional people sign up. They're on the waiting list. If you're on the waiting list, then I would have exchanged emails with you about that. Everyone is doing awesome with their payments for both the Friday add-on events as well as the monthly payments for the annual event ticket itself. So thank you for that. I think we're missing only one right now for March. So April final payment invoices will be coming out from Reggie. So please keep a lookout for that. And that's it.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to keep up to date with the events now, there is an events link on the website. So I have upcoming barrel picks and the year-end event. So all the information for the year-end event is on there. Kim's email address is on there. The links to the hotel and the code are on there. So everything's on there.
Awesome. It's shaping up to be spectacular. I mean, it really is shaping up to be one of the highlight whiskey events of the year, even considering not quite as large as Bourbon on the Banks or, the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, but pretty grand as far as what's going on. So that's pretty impressive for a group as new and as young as we are, and pretty awesome from having a Kim on that and really spearheading it.
Wait, over here.
So,
Well,
all right.
thanks to Kim, y'all.
So moving on, membership opening. So, like I said earlier, Lance posted that we had a bunch of those spots fill up. Do you know, Lance, by any chance, how many are currently open?
I can look. I think maybe 2.
Maybe 2. Okay.
Yeah, let me check real quick.
And for anybody that's not familiar, maybe if you're in the $5 tier and you got on early and have kind of forgotten, or if you're just tuning in relatively newer, if you're not one of the full members, that means you're not waiting around to buy a pick. You just get it included as part of your membership dues. So the 6 picks we do every year, you just get those sent directly to your home. And then any bonus barrels we do, you're in the running for those. You just have to opt in if you want to purchase those. But 6 picks included a year, and then all the money goes to charity. So,
Yeah, there's 2 spots left, and we picked up some more $5 members. So we're like close to 30 $5 members now.
Awesome.
Just a reminder,
Well,
if you're a $5 member and you signed up to go on a pick, I won't take your name out tonight because I haven't looked that up. But if you're a $5 member, you can't go on the picks. So only the members get that option. So I'll have to look at that afterwards.
So anybody in the $5 tier, if you've been interested in moving up, make sure you snag up one of those 2 spots quick. Oh yeah, thanks. And Robert says it includes shipping too. Yes, your 6 picks include shipping, so you don't have to worry about that as well. And then for everybody else, we really appreciate everybody talking about it with their friends. If you're on your social media and that, kind of spreading the word about Barrels for Hope and what we're doing. And let's get those last 2 spots filled, because that really does help us continue on making sure we have full membership. We continue doing the picks. So that help would be awesome and super appreciated. And that was it for the membership openings. I think we're getting ready for the 4 Roses drawing.
Real quick, I wasn't on the meeting last night. I do need to make a public statement. I have contacted some people individually when they followed up and asked, but for the charity committee, we have a pool of names for the charity committee. we have Reggie and I will be getting on that. What we didn't anticipate, poor timing on our part, but Reggie is in finance and accounting, and you guys know what time of year it is. So we're going to get past tax season, and then after that, Reggie and I will have some bandwidth to start combing through those names and talking to people and getting things going on that front. So just a heads up, hold tight on that. We will, we're not in any rush. We did get the ball rolling early on that. So yeah, we're good. We'll be in touch.
Awesome.
Thank you. Trying to answer some chat here.
Oh, wow. So Robert Shea says, my NBC pick got crushed at a bottle share, hoping they would sign up after they saw the quality of the group picks. Hopefully so. Yeah.
Wow.
That might have been the group that signed up. We had a bunch of them hit last night or yesterday. So
Yeah, we did.
That's a heck of a sacrifice for the greater good. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys watched the Dark Arts video, but Joe made a good point when he was talking about how every time we go out to do these picks, we try to select bottles that you guys are going to really want to share with friends and family, and at things there where you can't get that kind of pick. And I think so far we've done an amazing job. And this Dark Arts definitely qualifies as that.
Oh,
you guys,
definitely.
when I tasted this Dark Arts pick, the first thing that came to mind, knowing it was Oloroso Sherry, knowing the Dark Arts was Oloroso Sherry, it took me to that Wild Turkey Master's Keep, whichever one the Oloroso Sherry was. It tasted so much older. I think it was 7.5, 8 year base whiskey. It tasted so much older, so much more well composed, very refined. It is as Aaron would say, it's like you're wearing a cardigan with some elbow patches in a library. You're probably smoking a pipe. Let's be honest. And for some reason, the librarian doesn't care about that. And it's riding and you're drinking this Dark Arts pick. That's what you guys are in for. So, and I don't want to, Lance, we went over each other, but yeah, one spot left in the full membership. And I also have to call out the Bourbon Engineer who said 12 months, this is early in the stream, 12 months without Josh doing accounting. We should all celebrate. And cheers to that.
Well, it hasn't been 12 months yet, because I think we were 2 months or 3 months into it when Reggie came on board.
I mean, we knew pretty quick, so we couldn't have been that far into it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're not wrong.
So yeah, that's awesome. That's a good point. And we really do, because everybody knows in 2022 and 2023, store picks, group picks blew up. They were everywhere, and there was a lot of mediocre ones. So we really do work hard, and we really do focus, as everybody here does in Lance when he teams up for picks, when we do S&W MVP picks, Dan when he's running his. I mean, really want to focus on those wow barrels. So that's something special that you can't walk into the store and get, not just whatever barrel it is, we'll just slap our name on it, because it is for you guys at the end of the day, and it needs to be something special, something you want to kind of brag about to your friends and share with your friends and family. So
that's a great point, Joe. I think one of the things that gets talked about so often in the whiskey nerd sphere is how amazing barrel picks and group picks and store picks can be. But there's a big difference between an organization like us or, any group out there that's dedicated to picking really good, really special barrels versus, a store pick from Total Wine where you have no clue if, this person or that person picked it. You don't know the palate picking the barrels, and who knows what you're going to end up with? Who knows what they were picking? Was it off profile? Were they going for this easy sipping experience? Were they going for, something crazy? You just never know. So with us, you guys know, we're always going to have a few founding members on every pick, or board members on every pick. And then we're going to have some of you guys in there to keep us in check. So,
yeah. And, it also takes a certain person or group to pass on barrels when they're not up to snuff. And there's people in this group on screen right now that have passed on all the barrels that have been presented before and asked for different ones because we weren't going to put our name on it if it wasn't special. So, and
I've sent pallets back.
Sounds easier to do than it actually is. When
Yeah.
you're there with the distillers and you're like, these 5 barrels you brought out just aren't up to snuff, bring some more out. It's easier said than actually done when you're in the moment.
I was on a pick with the son and the owner, and we sent 2 pallets back.
Wow.
Talk about hard. That was uncomfortable.
And it's cool too to do what we do and have you guys there with us, because like the Dark Arts pick, we were going through the whole thing. We really liked that white port finish. We liked the 51-49 mash bill with no finish. And then that's where just being there, being a charity organization, maybe we get preferential treatment, maybe we don't, I don't know. But that's where Macaulay is like, you guys like that 51-49. I see the flavor profiles you're gravitating towards. And he literally said, I'm about to blow your mind. I'll be right back. And he went and came back with the one that we ended up picking.
And I think Bill was the most blown away about it. I mean, if you just look the look on his face,
Bill was in another universe. He had checked. He had stopped listening to all of us when he tasted that.
He did.
And Jeffrey Wack for that matter too.
Yeah. Those
Jeffrey was in the zone.
And they were sitting on their own couch over there together. I'm not going to say that there was hands on knees and stuff. I'm not going to say or not say that happened. But what I will say that there was definitely collusion.
Oh yeah. He was in the zone. So, All right. With all of that, let's move on. Let's get somebody picked to go to Four Roses with us.
Heck yeah. All right. Let me see if I remember how to do this. All right. I got to share my screen here. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Brian Miller.
Woo, Brian Miller, congratulations.
Yes.
That's so awesome. Dude,
Now,
can't wait to see you down there.
Look at the following names too, because Brian, I mean, we are super short notice here.
No.
So
Mike Ackey. Hey, Mike. Yeah, you're runner up.
Mike,
so
we got Robert Shea, Kyle Harris. So yeah, we've got some names in the mix. It is very short notice, and this is the way that barrel picks happen sometimes. So things change and pivot, and you got to be flexible.
Nice. That'll be fun, man. So Brian, he's a $65 member, right? I don't need to check that or anything. He's good.
Yeah. He's down in Georgia. He's a good guy. Actually, Georgia members can't get their bottles, but I know Brian, and we get together, and so I get his bottles and then get them to him.
Oh,
so,
sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
Brian's a great guy.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Well,
so if you didn't get that, don't worry, guys, because we're gonna pick a bunch for Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, and then for Ben Holiday, and then if you're going to the year-end event, you're gonna get to do Starlight, and I mean, there's tons of barrel pick opportunities.
Starlight is a pick you want to be on. Let me tell you what.
Yeah,
that is an experience. So awesome. Well, that's all we had on the docket for tonight. Anybody else got anything else?
If you guys have any questions, please leave them for us in the chat. We'll hang out for a little while, answer any questions we have. Maybe talk about some things we've got going on here.
Did we miss anybody?
Oh, Josh, we need your reveal once you get through the
I'm working on it. I'm working on the top 4 right now.
Okay. I don't know did you announce that?
You know what? Yeah, I did. I posted in a Discord. By the way, if you're not on the Barrels for Hope Discord, it's because you're ignoring. It's because you're ignoring the posts on Patreon that say get on the Discord. Like I get it. I'm a Luddite. I don't want to deal with technology, but get on the Discord because that's where we can communicate with each other and post updates a little bit quicker than we can posting a whole thing on Patreon. So check it out there. I posted. I don't know if anybody else is doing the flight with me or not, but if you are, let us know in the chat. If you have questions, let us know in the chat. Has anybody moved on to any other pours here on screen?
Hey, Josh, Jeff Penna wants to know, is it too late to sign up for the committee, the charity committee?
It's not. Yeah, we had a cutoff date on it, but that was before we had a very gross oversight in the fact that Reggie is in the smack dab middle of tax season, and I'm smack dab in the middle of got way too much going on season, and we will get to it in a few weeks. So yeah, send me an email. Actually, send me and Reggie an email for accountability purposes. Josh at Barrels for Hope and Reggie at Barrels for Hope, please.
So we got a couple of good questions here. Let's get to the easier one first. How did we finish the year as a total for donations? That has not been solidified yet. Like Josh said, Reggie is right. He's a CFO and he's right in the middle of tax season. We definitely hit our goal. We just don't know how potentially far beyond that. So we don't want to release any solidified numbers until that gets finalized. Probably next month's board meeting, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that's the, one of the biggest things for us with you guys is really trying to be transparent with how things go here, because the barrel pick game, before I ever got involved in it, I didn't really understand what it was. And so thankfully, before we ever started this, I got involved in it on our channel. Lance had gotten involved in it himself. Joe had gotten involved in it. Kim has done barrel picks. Dan, we've all done barrel picks. So we kind of knew the game, but there's still things that come up, and things come up when you're running an organization as well. So, one of the biggest things is managing cash flow. We have to make sure we can pay for the barrels that we are picking and then have money to donate in advance of, in addition to that. So to Joe's point, Reggie has confirmed that we are tracking for our goal of $40,000, $10,000 for each individual charity. Anything above that is icing on the cake. And yeah, so it's a management, it's a cash flow management thing, which is where we lean on Reggie, which again, thank goodness to the high heavens above that I am not the treasurer anymore.
And it's now, sorry, Joe, go ahead.
The important thing to note for all the members is, yes, for our first 12 months in operation, we did hit our goal, but we don't have the final numbers. We probably won't till the next board meeting, but rest assured, at an absolute minimum, $40,000 will be distributed to our charities at the annual event. So that was
to try to put it into a little bit better perspective for you guys, because I'm like Josh, like I knew the barrel game, but I didn't know the barrel game, and it seems like from the outside looking in, you're probably like, well, how is it any different than balancing your checkbook? However, it's like balancing your checkbook, but not knowing when you're going to get paid or when bills are going to come due. So we might do a barrel pick now and think it's going to be in 3 weeks, but then it's not in for 6 or 8 weeks, or it comes in 3 weeks early, or so and then you're trying to pick other barrel picks to do and figure out, okay, if I pick it on this date, when is that bill going to come due? There's a whole lot of moving pieces and nothing is for sure. So
and then the different costs for the different barrels. So it was up quite a bit further in the chat, but Bourbon Engineer said that barrel was how much? Like he was surprised when I said 10 or 15,000. So I don't know the exact amount on the I don't have the exact amount on the Dark Arts pick, but typically any barrel you go to pick from anywhere is going to be in that $10,000 to $15,000 range per barrel that you pick. So again, when we're doing this, from the outside, if no one's ever been involved in an organization doing picks before, the price of a barrel is usually sticker shock for a lot of people. And because of the way we operate, we are paying for that all at once up front too. So then that gets recouped by the monthly dues coming in and that. So, it's a little bit of a sticker shock to some people, but barrels are not inexpensive. That's for sure.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, operationally speaking, the cash flow, the further out you go, right, the cash flow starts to make more sense, which is why this is an organization that we're really thankful for all the new members that have joined in as spots have opened up. But we're incredibly thankful also for the members that have been involved from the get-go, that have stuck in there. And when it like year one, I always talked about the plane taking off. You got to get some runway going before you get that thing off the ground. And now in year 2, what we're seeing is that from a strategic safe standpoint to ensure that we're hitting our charity goals, it is helpful when the picks are spaced out a little bit more on the front of the year, the what do you call it, the fiscal year, if you would call it, whatever in business. And then more picks come a little bit sooner on the back end of the year. So that happened in year 1 just by chance. But now we're looking at cash flow, and that certainly seems to be like it's going to be a little bit of a precursor for what year 2 will look like as well. So it's an organization that does benefit to kind of get plugged in and stay in. And we appreciate everybody that's done that up to this point. And we just, hats off to you guys for believing in what we're doing and being a part of it.
So, and then another easy one here. Any idea number of Four Roses bottles that will be available for the random selection? No, because we won't know until the barrel's actually picked and they actually dump the barrel. But it's my understanding Four Roses typically yield around the 120-ish range, somewhere around there, plus or minus 10 or 20. So we are not anticipating it to hit the 140 people, which is why it is not included in one of the normal picks. Now, if it does for some chance, then we will most certainly give everybody the opportunity to get one. But we're not anticipating that to start with. So it would just be a really nice bonus if it does. I might kick the hard questions to my VP. How does the new barrel pick system work? If somebody has already been on a pick, are they going to be excluded until everyone gets to go on one?
Yeah, so we do want to keep a little bit of a running list to let people go that haven't been before. So like in that, I know that Mike Ackley was, I think, the second person, but Mike has been on a pick before. He was on the pick. What pick was he on?
Makers.
The Makers pick. Yeah. So we would skip Mike, go to the next person. That way we have the ability, and it is a lot to manage, but we do know who are on picks. So,
but the only caveat to that to remember is not everyone is always available for each of the picks. So we tried to do it black and white, like the first 6 months of year 1. And it was just way too difficult to manage because we would get 15, 20, 30 people down the list before someone could go. So yes, the plan as best we can is to get people who haven't been on picks, but every pick we do, we can't go through a list of 30, 40, 50 people trying to find someone who's available and can travel. That's just, we're all volunteers here, and that's just another level to manage that is not realistic. So just know, with the best of intentions, we are trying to get everybody the opportunity, but it might not happen. There might be some repeats just strictly because of availability to travel to the picks.
And today there hasn't been any repeats. Nobody's been on 2 picks.
Right.
And we would just ask you guys kind of honor system. If you've been on a pick, just let other people try to get on picks. But it is okay to sign up for a pick, especially like this Four Roses one, if you've already been on one, because who knows, maybe only 10 people could have made it this short a notice. And maybe you were the 10th one and you were able to go. There were actually a lot of people that were able to go on short notice, but yeah, we don't want to duplicate. We want to get everybody on a pick because that's a bucket list item for most people. So.
And to be clear, the reason that we have an open spot on the Four Roses pick, because we've been telling you guys about it for a couple months now, we had somebody that had a work commitment come up that could not make it. So that happens sometimes. And, that's the barrel picking game. You got to be ready to pivot at a moment's notice. So I've got my job breathing down my back because I'm taking days off work to go do picks for charity, and they can deal with it because
hey, Josh,
I'm going on the pick.
Josh, my new boss told me I could go anytime. Anywhere.
Well, your boss is pretty cool. I don't know if you know that or not, but Don Prince said folks who have been on picks should not be eligible for a time period. Yeah, we want to try to give everybody an opportunity to go. And then I love this comment. The Bourbon Engineer said, can we reproduce the Maker's Fruitgate pick so I can buy a case? Which is an amazing statement for him to make because I don't think he's the biggest Makers fan.
Right.
So the fact that he's saying that is saying something.
Is Bourbon Engineer going to be at the year-end event?
Let us know. Brian, will you be there? He's making some stuff for the year-end event, but I don't know if he'll be there or not.
I think I've told you guys, but I don't know if I've said this on a live stream. We have a lot. When I say a lot, we might have, I don't know. I haven't counted them, but I bet we have 12 extra Makers bottles because I think what happened was Makers sent Fruitgate to a different store and they sent a different stores to Narav. And when we noticed it, I think they might have sold a couple of ours, but I think we got the wrong invoice and had the wrong number of bottles. They ended up gathering all those off the shelf, sending them back to Narav. And so we actually have some extras. So there'll be some at the year-end event available for auction. And a lot of people have said they really like them. So
he said his bottles evaporated.
So I've got a question for Brian here real quick, but before it gets too far away, there was one Kim might be able to answer. How is the raffle system or auction going to work? Kim, you're working with Give 270 still. I haven't seen any more emails on it, but you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Joe found a great other nonprofit that has all of the licensing and experience and such necessary to operate an auction for charity with alcohol in Kentucky. And so we're working with them. We will go through their platform, so their site, and it'll be up for the weekend event. You have to be there to be able to pick up your bottle or have somebody who's there pick up the bottle for you. We will not be able to ship them.
Correct. Yep. So then was that CJ or whatever to answer your question? If someone is there and can pick it up for you, then you can. Otherwise, and it'll be through an app system. So we'll have more details that come out, but it'll be through an app that you'll be able to do the auction. It's the system Give 270 run. So I'm sure if you watch any kind of whiskey media, you've heard their commercials. So, so Brian, I had a question for you. The barrels that are sitting up with Lance and A1, I want to know if I'm going to be able to drop those off to you either May 17th or 18th, because I'm picking all those up on my way down to Tennessee for that weekend. So hopefully that will work out okay. Otherwise, I'm just going to dump them all at Josh's house.
Yeah, if you need, if for any reason that doesn't work with the Bourbon Engineer, you can drop them here and he can come over and grab them. I see Jeffrey Wack in the house, and Jeff, let people know about the Dark Arts pick. Just say whatever you want to say about it in the chat. I think that would be cool for people to see because you were one of the members on the pick. Oh, great question from Jeff Pena asking, how is the distribution for the Starlight pick going to work?
So we have an online retailer that we are working with. And once we do the pick, it will go up for pre-order. So anyone will be able to pre-order it through Sealbox. And then once it's bottled and gotten to Sealbox, it'll be shipped out to you.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of some ranking stuff. Did you answer EJ's question about the raffle system at the year-end event?
Yep.
Okay.
I can check that.
Yeah, that's my bad.
All right. Well,
right. I got a ranking.
Yeah, how did it come out?
First off, what a year of picks. Good grief. How do you pick? You know, like I just had to pick between like what I would want another pour of. I enjoyed every single pick that we had here, which was amazing. And I wasn't even on the Still Austin pick. So and I purposefully I've very slow sip these Barrels for Hope bottles, personally speaking. So let me see. I'll do the reveal live. So, oh, you got to be kidding me. Wow. Hold on a minute.
So is that your last place?
Yep. My last place is glass 7 in my lineup. Is that for real?
Was it
This
NBC?
bottle? Nope.
Oh.
Forgate.
Oh, it's Forgate.
I love it if it is.
And I tasted this and I loved it. It tasted different from everything up here, and there's a reason why. It's because it's the Maker's Mark.
Oh,
It tastes
Wow.
it has a dusty. I think our Forgate or our Fruitgate pick has a dusty quality to it. And it happened this, by the way, coming up on the Stuff and Whiskey channel, this pops up in a head-to-head against Maker's Mark Cellar Aged, I think next week, and it's not to be missed. So last place, Maker's Mark, loved it. And that was my worst bottle, which was great. So, all right, next up is glass 6. And this is the Forgate.
wow.
Wow.
I said it was sweet, but I said it had an earthiness to it. And I'm more of a sweet guy, you know.
You are really sweet.
Yeah, I think it's the way the barrel char comes across for me is what pulled it down for me personally speaking. But again, awesome pick.
Josh, I'm so excited that Texas whiskey is not in your bottom 2.
That is pretty
I'm telling you
exciting.
what, this is. I know I've been sipping on this the whole stream, and this is such a good bottle. I mean,
It's a good
Yes.
pick, right?
man, it's so good.
Well, I should be showing these bottles, right? Okay, so all right, for me, and I hate to say last place, right? Because I'm picking between all great picks. I enjoyed every single one of these glasses. I'm happy to drink all of these, but the Fruitgate pick, and I freaking love this thing. Look at that stave. If you want to recreate it, and by the way, don't go out looking for picks and being like it's one stave different. I think everybody that's been on a Maker's pick here can attest. One stave different, it's a whole different whiskey.
Oh, it makes a big deal.
It's crazy.
Oh, I don't have the Forgate bottle to show. But 6th place was, and this is quite surprising for me. I said this was sweet. It had sweet and spice. It was saturated with a lingering finish.
Did you say 6th place?
Mm-hmm. We have 8 picks, Joe. I don't know if you knew that or not. Year one.
I didn't know you did all 8.
Yep. This is the
Wow.
short barrel.
The short barrel for 6th place. Now I know your palate's off tonight.
No, it's really good. I put saturated with a long finish.
That was
But
my second place.
and that's just it's honestly, this all came down. There wasn't a bad pour in the flight. It was just flavor profile preferences, you know? Like,
Yeah.
do you like strawberry or grape better? Do you like, honey or maple syrup better? You know, it's
You like
It's
double
all-
barreled or natural whiskey?
I see you, Lance. I see you. All right. Fifth place. Okay. 5th place. Okay. Is the Founder's pick,
Whoa.
Wow.
which means the Still Austin, the Middle West, and the Hard Truth beat the Founder's short barrel.
All right, you're
And-
crazy. You're crazy now.
Lance,
That was my
Lance is
first
looking
place.
Lance is looking for the remove from stream button.
Yeah.
That was, I said it was honey and spice, and I said it was soft but strong. And then I said that on a video recently, and Aaron said, it's like you. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a great bottle, man.
that Founder's pick is phenomenal.
Founder's pick, I will say, originally I was Team Short Barrel, but I've tasted them several times since, and I am a Team Founders guy.
Yeah, me too. I like the Founders
too.
better.
Lance, just when I thought we were on the same page with your
I know we were getting so close. We've been right there on
Right.
the last couple picks.
All right. My 4th place, I said this was like buttered bread. I called this dark and rich, and I said it was gorgeous. This is a gorgeous glass of whiskey.
Josh, you did have curry before doing this, didn't you?
Still Austin. That's a gorgeous glass of whiskey.
Hey, 4th place, and I mean, in that lineup, that's no
Still
slouch.
Austin beat both of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. Man,
Yeah.
And the four gate.
You know,
That's a gorgeous bottle of whiskey. When it opens up, wow.
I've got to get down there to the distillery. I want to
That's
visit
an
the
awesome
distillery
comment.
so bad.
I appreciate that.
I actually know what that means.
Yeah, that's awesome. 3rd place, I said, was sweet fruit, and it was very lively. No, I'm good. Okay, 3rd place is the Middle West Spirits.
All right.
That's one of the
Ohio.
bottles I go back to the most out of all of them. I love
This is-
that bottle.
This is such a good pick, and I
Thank
know a
you,
lot of
God,
people,
Bill
a
didn't
lot of
win.
That is
a lot of-
Ohio whiskey. Ohio whiskey right there.
a lot of people said this was their favorite pick of the year.
Mhm.
It's
I
so
love that bottle.
sweet. It's like it's got this sweet, like kind of like a real true maple syrupiness, like a brightness to it.
I
That's
think the
so
thing I
good.
love about it is I don't have anything on my shelf even close to it.
Mhm.
So
So unique.
we've got the Hard Truth and the Nashville Barrel Company picks left, and based on personal profile preferences,
We
I
know
would
that we
say
know the results from here on out.
I would say that would be 2 of my favorite things on planet Earth are Hard Truth and Nashville Barrel Company whiskey. So second place and 1st place, and I had a lot of trouble with these 2. They were very close to me. 2nd place I said was rich dark fruit and oily as all get out.
Mm.
The 1st place I just wrote wow in all caps, and then I said dark fruit, and then I wrote dang like Joe Dirt in my head. I was saying dang, and then I wrote darkness like Dave Chappelle with the Charlie Murphy skit. So it's got a Joe Dirt dang and a Charlie Murphy darkness.
All right, so just reveal what's 1st place, because we know by default.
we
it's
know
second.
what's 1st place. Come on.
You know what it is.
Bias.
Uh,
You know, I like what I like. Oh,
uh,
second place, Hard Truth, man.
That's crazy.
Hey,
Hard Truth.
I just talked to Jerry on the phone today. He would very much like that.
Hard Truth is so good.
It really is.
Bourbon
I'm
Engineer.
smelling it right. I'm
Good.
smelling it right now, and I stand by these results. And this Hard Truth gave the NBC a run for its money.
Yep.
It's crazy. You just wonder what's going to happen in a few years over there.
What a year of picks. What a year of picks. And I will say, Danny Lopez says, I get a ton of rum on the NBC pick. And I am with you. I would swear up and down that this is a rum finished bourbon. And it's not, but it's got that molassesy darkness to it. It literally smells like I'm smelling a four square rum.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
the most exciting thing to me is that, I mean, obviously the first year went beyond my expectations. I mean, it was so good. And then we're starting off year 2. And I think it's going to, with our first finished pick, and that's going to blow you guys away too. You guys are going to lose your minds over it. So I'm just super excited, man.
Super excited about that. But
I mean, think about where we're starting the year off with. We know the Dark Arts is coming, plus the bonus barrel, then the Four Roses and the ECBP, and then the Ben Holiday, and who knows
Starlight.
what's up after that, and the
Starlight.
bonus Starlight for the year end, or for the year event. So then, what after that? I mean, the sky's the limit, guys. Good grief.
it is all good. But we are almost 5 minutes over an hour here. Some of us on the East Coast, it's school night, so we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, that was awesome, guys. Good live. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope everyone's really excited for what's to come, and I can't wait to see you guys on the Four Roses.
Yeah, next week. It's hard to believe.
Oh,
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Looking forward to it. We'll have some video of it. It'll be good.
yeah,
For sure. All right. Cheers, everybody.
yep.
Thanks
Cheers.
for everything. Love you guys.
Have a great night.
Cheers, y'all. Thank you all for
Cheers,
being part
guys.
of this.